Okay, guys, we'll get started in just a few seconds. AR, why don't you try talking? And they cannot hear you. Let's see here. No, it's definitely on my end. I rebooted my computer and the display port tried to take over audio because you can't permanently disable audio on display port. It always tries to take it back over. Try talking. Okay, and they still cannot hear you. No, let's try. Try now.
Yeah, I just got back from vacation.
Okay.
I don't need to put up with this.
Okay, that's good. Okay, Dev, why don't you try talking? Although I'll know it works for you because you guys are on the same line.
Bargle bargle.
There we go. Yeah.
I like him, so I'm the test rat for this.
Yeah, see, the fun thing about display, I have my computer hooked up with DisplayPort because it activates extra features on the monitor
Sure.
instead of HDMI. The problem is DisplayPort doesn't, it won't let me like actually go into the NVIDIA panel and actually disable audio permanently. It will let me do it in the sound settings, but then it tries to turn it back on sometimes because DisplayPort does not let you just disconnect audio entirely. And since the monitor claims to have audio, which it just passes through and I don't have hooked up, it will sometimes reclaim the audio slot in some programs. Fun.
It has to assert its
Huh.
territory.
Basically, yes. Because in HDMI, I can go into the panel and say, I never want to use this with audio. Keep it exactly where it is. And it goes, okay, won't do that. With
This
DisplayPort,
is all riveting. This is all
yeah.
riveting stuff. We should talk about Digimon.
Yeah, but you're just gonna complain.
I didn't have as much to complain about in this episode, so
Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the WtW podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run WtW.
I'm AR Paul for Digimon System Restore.
DevQ and I should probably pay more attention to Wikimon.
Should you? I mean,
Just let it run free and see what happens.
yeah. See, that's the funny part is I'm always like, I'm not gonna rant about something really stupid on Wikimon, and then Dev starts up with the, man, this place sucks.
Like I'm gonna just. I spent so much time, so much, and then stupidity reigns. Like,
Has it gained sentience and tried eating Omegamon yet?
I mean, that would probably be more productive.
It's been a week, hasn't it? How was your vacation, AR?
It's good. I was very chill. I'm far, far away from everything. I liked it. Although it's strange that I was only a 1 hour difference time zone, and I still feel jet lagged.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with
That
that.
seems odd for an hour. Maybe just
Part of
tired
it-
from the trip itself?
Part of it was that we stayed at a B&B, and they had breakfast every morning at 9.
Oh, so you felt obligated to wake up.
Yeah, which normally like 9 o'clock isn't such a big deal to wake up for, but translated to my normal time would be 8, and you have to get up early to get ready. So really, I was getting up at 7 every morning.
Ugh.
So I think that made a mess of things.
Yeah. How's your week been, Dev?
I am so tired, but also at the same time, it's been raining nonstop. It's
No,
been either over 100 degrees or downpouring.
oh, here it's just been scorching, scorching, scorching. Like cartoonishly hot. Like I literally have the fan on me right now, and it feels so good because the temperature dropped just enough outside that like the normal fan air actually feels cool.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Actually, not that bad right now. Like
Yeah.
it's sprinkling a little bit, but the weather's actually kind of
Yeah.
moderate right here.
Yeah. And
So
everyone
haha,
and everyone can be terrified. I am as yet again older and wiser.
waiting for the punchline here.
No, that was the punchline.
Oh,
Boing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's as far as the punchline was getting at. Yeah. They threw a lot of news at us in the past week. You'd think they'd save some stuff considering we have a huge event coming up in 2 weeks. And they keep
Apparently
throwing.
not now.
Yeah, I always expect them to like slow down before there's gonna be a DigiFest or a DigiNavi, and it's like no, they're gonna chuck stuff at us first. That way, one of the actors can like play with the toy on stage or something.
It's always funny when
Yeah.
they do that. Like,
Yeah.
they're usually so delighted.
And then we of course have the Gold Wolf of the Crescent Moon, starring Gabumon and Guy on
just
horse.
Gabumon, really.
Yeah, this episode's weird. It has structure to it. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, it was very competent. I was surprised.
I was entertained.
I was
It was all
entertained,
right.
but I still feel it felt like a weird episode for some reason.
I mean,
Probably
it
because we're
didn't
used to shit.
that. Yeah, it's very like it had structure. It didn't really deviate from that structure a whole
Yeah,
lot, so it can't be really called a great episode. It
it
didn't
was
really
good
do much
enough.
to surprise us, but yeah, it went through the motions and
Yeah.
gave us enough
Well,
moments to
to
be
be fair,
impressed.
there was one surprise, although they did tell us a few hours beforehand. Strabimon's Koji's voice actor, which is that's one of those weird little voice cameos that works really well for a character he never played before.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like that's a nice little touch. And then Volcano Oda, it's just kind of cartoonishly nice to see him pop up so often.
He always has a good time.
Yeah.
He should just be listed as a cast regular.
It feels like he basically counts as part of the I can't remember the word now.
Ensemble.
Yes, part of, because like there are ensemble members who show up for like these small little bit parts. Like I think 2 of the 3 Lalamons last week were basically ensemble members,
Yeah,
and
sure.
Oda has shown up so often. It feels
Yeah.
like he's an honorary ensemble member. Yeah, it's weird. There's not. It
I
feels
mean,
like
the
there's not.
Edamon and Pile Volcamon
Yeah. Well,
episode's still like pretty much my favorite this season.
to be fair, that was a very fun episode. This episode wasn't quite fun, but it was. What the fuck was with the nice Gazimon? I can't quite get over like their faces.
They are good puppers.
And then we had like Mojimon as the kind-hearted leader
Yeah,
of.
Mojimon as the troop leader kind of surprised me. That was kind
See,
of
here's the thing.
interesting.
It does surprise me, but when I like look at it, it's like, did they just pick him because he looks kind of like an old guy?
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
I was
that's
about
what
to
they
say,
did,
he's
right?
like the designated old dude.
Yeah, he just
I'm
looks
trying to
like an old.
remember. I'm trying to remember if Mojimon ever really appeared in the show much beyond that one episode of the original adventure.
Mm,
I don't really think he did.
yeah, I'm cheating and pulling it up.
And
Oh,
Wikimon
oh,
just
oh, oh,
flashes.
O2 Frontier Savers
Oh wow.
and
He is definitely the definition of just one of those Digimon that just always shows up in the background
yeah,
then and you don't
and
really notice.
Like, hey, is it cold? It's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and 2 of the 3 arcs of Cross Wars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mojimon's Mojimon is what people think Tyrannomon is.
Yes.
When people are like, "Oh, Tyrannomon, that's a Digimon that people know, and he must show up a lot." It's like, no, he really
No, it
doesn't.
really
But
doesn't.
so Mojimon is the honorary Tyrannomon.
Yeah, because Tyrannomon's been just
Yeah,
monster of the week like
yeah,
twice.
yeah. So it's a ghost, and
Spooky.
I have to stop not make Scooby Doo jokes. And Strabimon is basically Scrappy Doo.
Oh,
Oh, that's just mean.
yeah.
I
Don't
like
do that to
Scrappy Doo.
Scrabbymon.
I like Scrappy Doo.
Are
Scrappy
you
Doo
Don't
sure?
saved the show. He
don't get us with
saved
that.
the show.
Don't hit us with that Scrappy propaganda.
I mean, I'll give you the best negative Scrappy fact I know if that would help. Tim Curry
I would
refused to be in
rather
the
just.
movie because he hates Scrappy Doo. He was supposed to be the Mr. Bean role. When he found out Scrappy had a big part of the movie, he said no, and he left. He refused to do it because he hates Scrappy Doo, and that's
what I
true as
liked
far as I
about
know.
what I liked about Zombamon, just it wasn't a case of Yamato and Gabumon just going out like running into this village and saying, "Hey, we have a problem," and him deciding to help. Like Yamato and Gabumon were immediately thrown into it. Like it
Yeah.
attacked them, and
Yes.
they were like in the middle of it without a choice. And that's kind of refreshing after all these episodes where they just happen to stumble upon this village that's troubled and then they have to fix the problem. Like
I mean, to be fair,
Yamato has a personal Gabumon has a personal investment right off the bat.
that did happen in the episode, though. Taichi and Agumon just stumble upon it.
Well,
I'm
is that
super.
what
I,
is that what happened? I got the impression that Koshiro sent Taichi kind of to be a ringer there.
That's what I thought too, because it's like,
okay,
hey,
maybe it did.
Koshiro.
Maybe it did. I wasn't
Yeah.
100% clear on that, but you're right. He
I
did
mean,
talk to
because
Koshiro earlier.
the episode drops half a grade if it wasn't. Because like I actually had like a whole paragraph. It's like, hey, there's time actually like Koshiro sent Taichi, so like the random appearance actually kind of has some logic behind it instead of the last ones we've had.
Hey, and the random appearance of Koshiro actually worked really well, I thought.
It did, yes.
Yeah, that worked well.
Like, hey, Koshiro has this giant knowledge base behind him.
Yeah.
Maybe he can help out here.
And hey, look, it's a rusted sword. In
Like,
manga
Koshiro, what the fuck is this?
in manga and anime, that means an upgrade is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have issues with calling that a sword, but anyway.
To be fair, that's what it's
a
generally
sharp
been.
thing on a stick.
Oh no, it is. It's clearly like a more of a pike type weapon, but it's been treated as a sword since the character was introduced, basically.
Actually, somebody just commented on my blog about that with more information about the about Crescent weapon. It's actually based off of a pole weapon called a Guandao.
Yeah.
And that there's a whole Chinese legend behind that whole thing.
I think there's a multiple about that, I believe.
Yeah,
but yes,
really
generically, it is often treated as a sword, even though it really isn't. They probably should have gone with blade.
That would have worked a lot. Yeah, I would have preferred that. And you could have gone the whole Battle of Two Bladesmen and
yeah. But I also understand why it's not worth the effort to do so, especially when I'm pretty sure they've been calling it a sword since they introduced the character.
It doesn't matter that much,
No.
But I just found it.
No, it was worth mentioning at least, especially since did they use the ice stuff at all?
I don't think so.
Because his shtick is supposed to be that it's still a Metal Garurumon and he's still like ice-based stuff.
Yeah, it was all just slashy stuff.
Yeah. And flames also, I think.
I thought the flames were more decorative, but
yeah, I guess that's right. And hey,
that was just mood lighting.
Yeah, and that was a neat and different evolution scene, wasn't it? And it was not just Crescent appearing out of a ball of electricity.
Yeah, I like the way they did the kind of drew out the evolution sequences.
Yeah,
it kind of helped with the pace. Like the pacing was very slow and deliberate in this.
Yeah.
And they kind of made the evolution sequences a little more slow and deliberate to match that.
One thing I'll need to check at some point. I'm still, and it might maybe one of those things where I just wasn't completely paying attention or was watching else. At one point there were two swords, right? Because we saw Wergurumon holding the rusted sword, and then all of a sudden Yamato had like a pipe. And it was
Part of the blade got broken off, so
okay. So it was the broken off. Okay.
Wergurumon used that like a shiv.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you're right. But I don't remember it being like a full like pipe when they picked up, the rusted part of it. Like it was more like a small like sword thing. I think.
Maybe. I don't know.
Part of it was like jammed in the ground, so
that would be a great practical joke for Link pulling the Master Sword and it just keeps going and it's actually
magical gold thing is the excuse.
The Master Pike.
Yeah. But yeah, it's weird. We haven't. This is like the first time we've had an actual literal armor evolution. Where like it actually just like hit him, like it actually, because even in 02 they never really armored up.
Yeah, it was wasn't really armor.
Yeah, here it was literally just a piece of sliding on it, and even stranger at the end, he has no memory of it. So it's like he got possessed by the ghost of Crescent.
Yeah, kind of. Which makes it kind of weird that Taichi was commenting that, well, Yamato's done now. Like, he is? Yamato didn't do anything.
The power of generic friendship. Let's go ask Naruto. Let's go ask Naruto if this counts as the power of friendship. And spinny air balls.
I mean, Naruto, is he still recovering from what Shogun Gakumon did?
Although that's a terrible fucking joke. Although I do have to say, like
we're terrible people.
The actual screen where the evolution finishes, man, there was a bit too much gold on that, like where they made everything super fucking bright.
Very shiny.
Yes. I could have used
like a more like duller or like antique gold to kind of like match like the old warrior kind of thing.
Well,
yeah.
1 second, Galhart saying the stream's dead. It appears to be fine on my end. Galhart, I would say refresh your tab because as far as I can tell, everything's
we're back.
Fine.
Okay.
Was it ever down?
I don't know. I can't hear this. I'm only following the live chat. I can't actually hear the audio.
I'm looking at the panel and I can't see that it ever went down, to be honest.
That would really mess me up if I tried to do that.
Yeah, so it was a competent episode. It was okay, good. It wasn't great. Let's go with that.
Yeah, no, it was competent. Like I begrudgingly gave it a B. It was toss up between B and B minus for me. Like I was looking back and looking at my previous B minuses. I'm going, okay, I have to reward this one a little more than that. That was about the extent of it. So it's a very begrudging B from me.
Yeah, it's
I like the puppies.
It's very much a case of that was a fine way to spend half an hour on a Saturday.
That was I had very little to complain about in that episode, and for a series like this, that's worth applause.
Yeah. And I like how other people have said the stream's down. That means OBS and YouTube are both worthless for figuring that out. Hooray.
I'm okay with blaming YouTube for anything.
Yeah, because YouTube, there's actually a thing to tell you what's been going on. As of 6:52, the stream's healthy and there's nothing else to report.
Well, you can watch go back and watch the stream later and see how it sounds.
We'll blame YouTube for that. And then next week we have the episode everyone's been waiting for, Contact from the Catastrophe with many Taichis.
This is the one I saw the listing for, and I'm like, okay, this looks like it could be propel us forward a little bit, and then I saw the preview and just started laughing. The memers were on this one fast.
Oh no, the memers were all fucking stupid with this one because they all had the same joke. Not one of them had anything creative at all to say.
It's the joke. It had to be made, though.
I don't know. I'd rather wait till it ends to see if anyone does anything creative with it. Because going with the same joke they've made constantly doesn't really come across as funny. It more comes across as they don't have any creativity for the jokes, which is why Literally every joke was exactly the same.
Well, we've been having that joke for weeks, and then they just serve this up to us on a platter, though. That's what I found so amusing about it.
I blame the fans for this one because everyone at the beginning of the show was like, "Wow, Taichi's amazing in this," and they bought their War Greymon figures, and now this is what they've wrought. Because here's the thing: if you make jokes about it being the Taichi show, they don't care that you're joking. They're like, "This is what people want."
Yeah, Taichi was good at the beginning, but we also hadn't met anybody else yet. I assumed that same quality would hold up with the other characters. And then everybody, including Taichi, just never showed up.
So what you're saying is this is your fault.
Possibly.
Yes.
They read your reviews and like, this random American, we need to make an all Taichi episode for him.
Taichi Septon.
Yeah, so we have that
Several
episode.
all Taichi episodes.
Now, I will say we won't get into the guide stuff too deeply, but I like that the Algomon are coming back.
Yes, that's what I was most impressed about.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Like
finally.
They remember they exist.
Yeah.
And then episode 58 is Light of New Life, which Hikari episode. We won't detail most of these because, we just never do to avoid spoilers. But some interesting potential stuff here. Electric Light Hercules Kabuterimon, which feels like this happened a while ago, but it did not.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that needs to happen still.
Yeah. So, man, I really hope they reveal that the person he comes across did something to the fucking tablet. I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah, right. This is your chance. Don't blow it.
Yeah, I'm still fucking waiting for that. And then another one that it's like, oh, this feels like this should have happened a while ago. Vikemon, Conqueror of the Glaciers.
Yep.
I'm still sad there's no Plesiotheamon.
Although I will say this, spoiler or not, hooray for Olegmon.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you have Olegmon, so I'm going to pay attention, but everything else about this episode sounds awful.
One thing I like is people keep going, why do they keep using so many Cross Wars Digimon? And
because they're fucking awesome. Fuck you.
No, and people keep trying to come up with theories for it, like, oh, well, the one producer worked on it. You know what the explanation probably is, right?
I like Dev's answer.
They have the designs ready to go for HD work. Because Cross Wars was HD.
I like Dev's. I'm going to go with Dev's answer there. Cross Wars Digimon are just cool.
Oh, they are. But I'm saying I generally believe it's probably because...
I'm not overthinking this. Gapo Gapo Viva Alegna, let's move on.
The full music video for Dreamers is out, and this is another one where the song is exactly what we expect it to be based on the intro.
Yeah.
And the music video is very much Hartman walking out to a beach.
Yep.
I mean,
it is certainly a K-pop song.
Yes. Do we have anything else to say about it?
I was waiting for something to surprise me in that video and the song, and nothing happened. It just went exactly according to format.
Yeah. Good song, but yeah, that was 100% what we expected to see.
Yeah, it's a very good song.
And then we have a couple anniversaries. Hurricane Touchdown, the movie that AR and me, one of the rare things me and AR 100% seem to agree on exactly.
This movie is crap.
Yeah. And then the Savers 3D theme park ride anniversary.
I like that that's worth an anniversary acknowledgement.
Well, because it's the same day as the Hurricane Touchdown, so since I wrote it the one time, I said, might as well write the Savers thing, and then most of it's copy-pasted and I tweak it every year. It's one of those things where if it was just like its own thing, I wouldn't have ever done it, but since I was doing an anniversary post that time anyways...
It's there, it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, back to music,
Kulumon.
We got previews of the Kazuna character song solos, and it's kind of amazing how much these all sound like the O2 and Tri character songs. Like
a little bit,
I still need to listen to those.
I haven't listened to the Tri songs in a long, long time. But
these really do have the sound of the classic ones and the Tri ones mixed together.
I mean, for the most part. I mean, Ken's they obviously rejiggered because Ken hasn't had his own song as a good guy.
Oh, sure. And I will say they put in a lot of effort to Like there is auto tune on some of them to make them sound musical, but there's one character who is conspicuously auto tuned to a degree of it almost sounding like a fucking song, and that's Armadimon.
Well, yeah.
Because
They don't want Armadimon to embarrass himself again.
Because with the O2 song, whoa, that didn't sound good. I mean,
There's a lot more. The songs are a lot fuller this time than I thought they were in the O2 soundtracks.
To be
I
fair,
like that I like that after the first 5 kids had their songs. I'm like, is Hikari? Oh, are they gonna keep this up and maybe Hikari might get an upbeat song for once? That's as upbeat as Hikari gets, and it's still not there yet. Hikari always has to have kind of a
crushing depression.
Always has to be a slow jam for Hikari.
To be fair, I think that's Mao's vocal range anyways, to be fair.
Well, the range doesn't necessarily matter. It's just the tempo of the song.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got previews of all the solos. There were no previews of the duets yet. And I'm looking forward to getting these, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these sound like they'll be fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to getting these. Hopefully get the prints with my order.
I'm interested in comparing the especially the Takeru and Hikari songs to what their Try songs sounded like.
Yeah, I guess that's true because we've heard them sing character songs before, and we haven't for the other kids.
The other 4, yeah.
And I still want to add an asterisk and go, and Armadimon in a voice you can understand. Well, you can not understand, but like listen to musically.
You can tolerate.
Yes. But yeah, so these are out August 1st, and if you want them, now's about the time to pre-order them, especially since Enigator is, I don't remember the company, but they are teamed up with an intermediary, so it makes it very easy to order. I decided to try that company out for this rather than using one of my normal ones, so interested to see how it is. And then the deluge of cards continues. A lot of the very kind, at this point, it's hard to say anything other than boring, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
Soulless.
I didn't even look at these.
Metal Greymon's parallel card got different art from the old card game instead. That one's neat.
Yay.
To be fair, I don't think we've seen this art in basically 20 years. So I'm actually kind of excited to see that one a bit different. And then last night, they also announced that, because as we know, the responsible thing to do when there's a health crisis is to, not hold your events, Olympics. So the card game, they've said 3-on-3's canceled because that was, first in-person event. There weren't any online components to that. That's canceled. And various DC1 stuff has been canceled since some of those aren't in the emergency declaration zone. So some of those are still happening, some aren't. I'm going to go ahead and guess that 3-on-3 will be repurposed as a Bandai, whatever that thing's called. I always forget it. Online lobby
thing.
Yeah, that. DC1, I assume they'll either do more online stuff or whatever, because they've said the whole thing isn't canceled. It's just some locations. And then we got the third card game Memorial Collection, and the art on this is so good. Just having duos of characters eating various things, or trying to eat various things. I think my favorite is Tokomon, who's just clamped to the fucking pancakes.
Pancakes.
Yes. And these
God, I want pancakes so badly right now.
Yeah. And these are all parallel cards of the Memory Boost promo cards. So if you need more Memory Boost, I'm just looking at the fucking Pokemon art where he's just like on the fucking pancakes.
Nom.
Yeah. And then we got Mojimon eating lettuce.
Sink those hideous teeth into those pancakes.
And then for English cards, we've gotten a bunch of previews for Booster 5 and the event pack. The event pack parallel stuff's been interesting, like the neat Metal Garurumon card. But yeah, a lot of them, it's just, hey, we saw these a while ago, so hey.
And get to watch them try to sneak in the narrow the kerning enough to get where Garurumon Sagittarius mode into a single line.
See, the
Oh,
problem
dear
is
God.
we're overusing that joke because each time we make the joke, the next week there's one with more text.
Yeah, they keep outdoing themselves.
Yeah,
That's why we have to keep making the joke.
yeah, but like I remember last week I was going, man, they've really stretched this as far as it can fucking go, and then this week it's like,
Nope.
nope, more.
Challenge
Although,
challenge accepted.
am I wrong, or is it less ugly this time? Like it
It's
feels
pretty
like
ugly.
something's been done to the text, so it's not quite as ugly.
It's like it's more of a barcode than text.
Yeah. Like, oh, your graphic design is trash. Why would you do this?
And then they announced
graphic design is my passion.
And then they announced an English version of DC1 that starts in September. And hey, the event stuff is all the same, which is neat. And it will be at Gen Con, but they've basically said that part of it will be at Gen Con. So I guess they'll just do multiple ones at places and then combine them later into an online thing or something. And various people are saddened that will make it very hard to get some of those Digimon cards.
I wonder who.
Oh, yeah, Vandy's not happy about this.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
I would enter tournaments and send them over, but there's no way to actually get the cards here.
Yeah. Though I do feel like the VIP entry thing, it's weird because that art isn't new. Like that's art from like 2 or 3 booster sets ago, and it was very exciting at the time. But now it's like, oh, it's this. It's like when they did that War Greymon mat using the art from the first starter deck. And it's like that's something we saw 9 months ago. Yeah. And then Card Battle did more matches. I'm still kind of confused what the team combination thing is. I think it's just that they can't get everyone in the studio due to coronavirus, so they've kind of just made like an ad hoc team to not go on hiatus again like they did last time.
I mean, that would make sense.
Because like they're like, oh, it's the combined blue and orange team, but like they're not mixing up the matches or anything. It's sort of like they just have them one of them there. So I think it's just a matter of who they could find. And it's one of those things where they may explain it better in Japanese, and I'm just not getting it, but I think that's what's happening here. So yeah, and then event stuff. So the Tamers karaoke event has been suspended for. Well, Caritas is suspending all their collaboration stuff at the moment, basically saying, we want you to come here, but we don't want you to come here that much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then they announced the Digimon Adventure pop-up museum in Yokohama, and I will say that the space they're doing this in actually looks really nice for like a 1-floor small event. Like it was bigger than I thought it was from the yeah. Because when you look at like the map screen and you see like the lobby and the first aid room, you're like, oh, it's a small space where it's gonna have stuff on display, and then you see the photos of that space, like, oh, this is fucking huge.
But that was larger than I assumed.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a small thing. I wonder if the site for the place has like a photo of the room it's gonna be in. And I'm going through, and I'm like, oh shit, this is actually like large. And like when they talk about the panel showing scene from each episode, I wonder if that wall looks like a video wall to me. So I wonder if it's just gonna have like screens on there.
Mm-hmm.
Because that feels like that's what that's gonna be, right?
You'd think so, yeah.
Yeah. And hey, a tease as anime characters and stuff to buy from stuff. So we'll see. This is one of those where I really want to see what the setup looks like because this either feels like it's gonna be very hokey or like really cool. Like, and I look at the space and I can imagine either.
Yeah.
And then Tenjin Cinema is doing basically like a summer film series, and this one they're doing various popular anime and live action stuff. And hey, look, Kazuna gets 2 screenings next to Captain Harlock. And
Ooh.
yeah,
Good
and
company.
hey, Dev, Wizardmon and Tailmon figures.
I'm waiting for them to pop up on either Crunchyroll or Bandai USA, so I don't have to spend as much on shipping.
Yeah, this is getting a general release in the West.
Oh, that makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm waiting for more places to post it before writing up anything about it. Because otherwise it ends up being, 10 different articles like they may have it, they may have it. So yeah, this will be plentiful for anyone who wants it.
Oh, good, because I really want the thing.
Yeah, so this is reprint. Although a number of people actually messaged saying this suffers from the same thing the original Angelmon figure suffers from. That tail apparently breaks at the drop of a hat, but it doesn't break. But it doesn't break in shipping, so they can't sit there and go, "Ooh, boobies means we can't sell it." That was my favorite excuse ever. Not just that they use it, but that so many people still buy it as an excuse when no, 100% that's not true. It just
It was
let
her
them not.
massive wings, not her massive tracts of land.
Well, yeah, literally, as far as I can tell, they just used the international supply to replace broken figures, and then they went, "We're never using this mold again." I still wouldn't be shocked to see the mold show up again, but reinforced. And you like me, you got the newer Angelmon figure, right, Dev?
Jesus fuck,
Yes,
there was
the one.
so much foam.
Okay, yes, the one that went. If you got the figure, the amount of packaging they stuffed in there to make sure those wings couldn't fucking move. Like, if I had any doubt as to the reason why we didn't get that original figure, the follow-up version having 20 pounds of plastic wrap around everything.
At least, oh my god, there's just, the box is so much larger than the figure.
Yes.
So much.
Yeah, they basically made sure it would not break.
Each wing was individually wrapped in layers of foam, and then there was more foam stuffed between them, and then there was the foam shell.
Yeah. Yeah, they made sure that tells you exactly what the problem with the first figure was. Yeah, so this is about $70, ships in December. And yeah, it's nice that people have another chance to get this one. And
Shall take
then
my money.
yeah, and then we knew the Digimon figures were coming. This is much better than what we expected, though, especially based on the teaser, to be honest, because we were kind of expecting just, oh, they're going to put the molds back into print and premium Bandai exclusive, blah, blah. So they remolded the old ones and enhanced them, but they still look like the old figures. Then
I want all of these.
Yeah, and then they did new ones of characters who you basically would have expected to get the Digimon figures if the line had continued. Plus Pulsemon gets. So let's go over Pulsemon first, since these are all new. We get Pulsemon, Bulkmon, and Boutmon, and those look really good actually. And the cages are yellow. They're branded with the old Digital Monster logo. So then, new collection is where we get the revival figures and new ones. So Volume 1, we get Tyrannomon, Agumon, Betamon, Greymon, Metal Greymon Virus, and new figures of Vmon and Palemon, and that Vmon looks fucking amazing.
He looks like an absolute delight.
That is plucked out of another universe's version of 2000, basically.
It actually really reminds me of the intro to Digimon World 2, where he's just kind of knocking on the screen and then gets chased off.
Yeah. And then Volume 2, we get Monzemon and Numemon. Is it weird?
Combo?
It's weird doing the sets when you can't buy them separately. Merimon, Devimon with his arms, which everyone likes. And then we get 3 new figures. And let's go over these one by one. Mujimon is the best of all these, as far as design goes.
Hands down.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, easily.
Gilmon looks cute and amazing. Dukemon very much looks like, oh shit, how are we gonna do Dukemon with this? Because we can't really pose him. It has to be basic. So Dukemon is very much a Gundam just standing there.
Yeah. Reminds me of the NX Edge.
Yep.
Digimon
NX.
Yeah,
figure.
Yeah.
but the NX Edge one you could pose so much that the proportions
There was a
looked right.
there was the NX ones. There was a reason it looked
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Here it's just kind of standing there. So and like it looks nice, but also looks kind of stupid, if that makes sense.
He looks
Like
like he's
it's
confused to be here.
to be fair, it makes sense that he looks confused. So the Pulsemon set is about $28, and the others are about 55. The prices aren't actually that bad when you consider like those ones are sets of 6.
Well, then they come with the cages too,
Yeah,
so
it's about $10 per thing. So especially if you want to split it with friends, that's actually not that bad, to be honest. Although I'm kind of waiting to see if Premium Bandai USA gets them before I decide what I'm gonna do here. It feels like I'm getting these though, to be honest.
I definitely am. I just
And
need to
yeah,
save money.
and
Oh,
then
they're
they
so
te-
cute.
and then they tease the fancy headliners for volumes 3 and 4. It's Anonymous Night Guy and Anonymous Guy with Gun, who we definitely can't tell who these are from the silhouettes, being Omegamon and Beelzebumon. Both of these feel like they could either be amazing or Dukemon. Like I could see either of these being really good or just kind of standing there doing nothing.
I know Metal Greymon's wings look pretty cool, so that
Well,
fares well for like
to be fair,
capes.
that's one of the ones that existed in the past, and they just kind of fixed up the mold. I don't know. I think like the VIP for like weird pose shit, even though it's old, is like the Devimon holding his arms out and screaming. It looks like Psy from the music video, just screaming into an ass. Like, doesn't that remind you of that? Yeah. So I'm gonna get these. I'm just waiting to see what Premium Bandai USA does. And then over the weekend we got more photos of these that look like having them on display, making them look really nice. And they upgraded because I think to open the cages before you had to like pop something off the top and like they didn't just like open as basic cages, I don't think. So here they've also redesigned that so you can open them, and they still look like the old ones, which is nice.
Plus, you
Uh,
can stack them.
yeah, and I think they might snap together. I think I could be wrong.
It looks like they
Oh,
do.
they can't because you can see the notches on the image
Oh
of the
yeah, on the
cages.
bottom.
Yeah, you can see the notches in the holes, so they definitely snap together, or at least press together. Seeing them in the cages without the packaging, some of them just look really funny, like Mugenjamon just kind of like screaming at the cage. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more details of these. And then
It's
so
like when my cat gets stuck in the laundry basket.
let me tell you a story. One of the main people from China who sends information, they'll PM me the information. They've said they don't want, you know, to say where they're, they don't want their
Mhm.
name on it. Just, post it if I find anything useful. And I try to when possible. And I try to, bunch of, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, they sent me a couple messages. And it's like, oh wait, they sent me like 30 images that night. So I tried to figure out how I was going to put it all together, and I just kind of did. And wow, China's getting a lot of stuff, and a lot of the
Good
stuff's
for
already
them.
out, like magnets from Lawson, shirts. That desk mat's actually really nice, to be honest. Although the one issue I always have with the desk mat is you kind of, if you're gonna use a desk mat, you kind of want the design stuff to all be on the right because the left side's gonna be covered by the keyboard. Then we have the Sanrio stuff, just Kazuna stuff. And then the probably not the most interesting, but like the one that caught my eye is they've changed the logo for New Century and kind of made it into like a Tri Kazuna logo.
Yeah, you can definitely see the Kazuna
Yeah.
influences in that.
Yeah. Well,
Kind of
that's where like
sleeker and more classy. The other one was kind of
yeah.
like chunky.
Well, it had like the little Agumon jumping out of the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a nice logo, I think. And then we have episode art So first up, we get the social media art of Crescent looking not quite as detailed as you'd expect, and then Kenji Watanabe drawing Strabimon with a tiny, upset Crescent in the background. And it was basically he just didn't have the time or want to go to the effort to do an accurate.
He has too much lines.
Yeah,
let's do
that
Strabimon.
basically.
Let's give Strabimon some love instead.
And it makes sense, especially since he like, as far as we know, these aren't commissioned drawings. It's just him deciding to do it. So I can easily go, oh, Crescarumon's a pain in the fucking ass to do accurately. So look, it's Strabimon.
I love this little story along with it. It's like, yeah, I was just doing this for shits and giggles, but then they threw it in the series.
Yeah. And then we have questions. So you guys in the chat can throw those up while we start with the ones that were sent. Someone wanted to know, as we get closer to DigiFest, your expectation of what we will see change. I don't think we've really, like, nothing's happened that I feel like makes us go shake our random guess, our first place random guesses at all.
Yeah.
So it's one of those cases where, like, nothing we were saying was anything more than basic guesses based on random information in the first place.
And
I
it's
don't
not
think
like we've gotten any bombshells leading up to this.
How dare you insult? And I'm scrolling through looking for. How dare you insult? How dare you insult the Wizardmon figure?
Okay, moving on.
Or the tiny figure of Pulsemon. And Galhart wants to know, would we expect the next Digimon season series to have Pulsemon as a main Digimon? It wouldn't be shocking if it was, hey, it's Digimon Adventure semicolon, and there's now a 9th kid and he has a Pulsemon. That wouldn't shock.
Yeah, that would be completely expected.
Yeah.
I would expect. I mean, I'd expect Pulsemon to show up in the anime at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it's the current series or the next one.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, either one wouldn't shock me. I mean, we've already gotten one of the damn USB sticks.
That's right.
And
they can do better than that.
Yeah, its usefulness was gone pretty quickly.
They already they gave Pasurimon a cameo too, so.
Yeah, no, because people have already gone. Pasurimon got a cameo. That means the spirals are gonna show up, and
oh, good God, no!
And I'm not kidding. I saw it just a few days ago where people like Rasteelmon's gonna show up and he's gonna be important, and it's like,
no,
no.
They'll just stick it. You just throw a dart at a board full of Digimon. It's like, okay, this one's cameoing this week.
Yeah.
And then someone wants to know, since it's come up a few times, where would be a good place to start with mech stuff? I don't know. That's weird because, like,
watching things or collecting.
See, I took it as watching, but now that
I would take that as watching.
Okay, because, like, I think you would just buy a cheap gunpla if you were just going to randomly start.
You just basic gunplay stuff to get into the building.
The problem with suggesting mech shows is,
how far back do you want to go?
Well, it's not only how far back. It's stuff is so wild. Like as much as we'll joke and rag on harem stuff, but you kind of know what to expect getting into any random harem show.
Yeah.
To a degree. With mech shows, you could easily get, oh, this is a comedy and they fight, or like my comments about Hathaway last week. It's like there aren't that many mech fights in Hathaway. Most of it is a character drama focused on one person. So it's one of those things where, like, we can suggest shows, but they could be so wildly different from what any given person wants.
You could do that within Gundam.
Yes, because, like, here's the thing: I love recommending Build Fighters, but that's kind of not really a mech show.
Yeah, that's very different from any other Gundam series.
That's basically just Digimon without the Digimon. Something like Gundam Wing or 08th MS Team is never a bad place to start with Gundam, to be honest.
Yeah, Gundam Seed's pretty well-rounded.
Yeah, well, everything modern Gundam comes with Seed, and now that Seed's coming back with a vengeance, it's definitely a good place to start. and you have 2 different versions of the show, actually 3 different versions to decide between. And some of them are not canon to each other, which makes it even funnier.
And those are relatively recent too. Relatively being the key word there, but within the last 20 years.
Barely.
God, I feel old now.
Yeah.
I remember when Gundam Seed first came out.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's one of those things where there's too many. Find a show that looks good to you and watch it is what I would say. Yeah. And then from Joe, what Digimon do you want the remaining Holy Digimon to be revived as? I'm not 100% sure I expect to see them, to be honest.
I don't necessarily expect to see revivals of them. Like maybe the whole gang will show up at some point. Like they'll just pop up in their full forms in the end.
Now, will they actually pop up, or will it be ghostly ones there just to, come on, Taichi, you can do it all alone because everyone else is gone?
I'm probably leaning more in that direction.
Yeah, same.
And then we get a gold Omegamon, as Kenji Watanabe wanted.
With more lines.
That's why Kenji Watanabe can't be bothered to draw Crescent. He's already in the planning stages for the next Omegamon incarnation that he's been tasked with drawing. And by task, they mean they've locked him away and won't let him out until he does.
To be fair, that one was his fault. Merciful Mode is exactly what he wanted. Because originally he didn't want to do another power-up form because every Digimon show basically ends with a power-up at the end, minus Adventure. And the last few episodes you get a mode change or a power-up, and he's like, I don't think we need to do that this time. And they went, okay, it will just be Omegamon, but we'll make him gold. And then as tries going on, he's like, damn it. And then he does his Cyborg 009 Merciful Mode. And ironically, that's what was going to happen with Kazuna too, which was originally it was just going to be Omegamon. They've said it was going to be Omegamon at the end, and then at some point they went, no, we really should have something different here, and they did have something different, which had quite the reaction from people. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one from Galhart. As far as the anime character songs go, even Digimon or not, do you have a personal favorite?
Ooh, I don't listen to a whole lot of them outside of Digimon. I have to go. Yeah, I haven't listened to any outside of Digimon. I mean, I haven't listened to any Digimon ones in a long time. So outside of Digimon, I'm going to go old school and I'm going to bring Love Hina back because it's been a while since we've brought Love Hina back into the podcast.
Was the last time we mentioned it me mentioning working on again?
I don't think so. It was.
Oh, was it the harem talk a few weeks ago?
Yeah,
or a month or two ago, I guess.
We don't need an excuse to bring Love Hina into the conversation.
We
don't. Anyway, it's actually somewhat Digimon relevant because it is Junko Noda. But her character in Love Hina, Kitsune, I really like her image song.
I don't remember her song at all.
Love Hina. It's called Kasaganai no Yo.
Oh, wait, is that the one?
It's a cool jazzy slow jam.
I do vaguely remember her song being like slow and jazzy, and it having like a snap to it. I remember.
It does. It has this nice snap to it.
Okay.
It's nice and slow and jazzy, and honestly, I think it brings more character to her than she actually got in the series because she's kind of the leftover in that show.
Yeah, she was the one where the manga went, okay, here's the deal with her, and the anime went, we don't have the time to deal with this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Digimon just because it's the ones I remember. The ones I remember the most off the top of my head, so I could be mixing up characters, is Super Gal from Mimi.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which just like where it has the riff that just works real well. And I remember Miyako sounding very Mega Man-ish.
Crash to Bingo, yeah.
Yeah.
That
had a very Mega Man sound to it, as I recall.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I've heard it.
Yeah, Digimon ones, a bunch of the O2 ones.
And we have to bring up the most important Digimon image song ever, since we brought it up earlier, Armadamon. They tried, is the best thing we could say about that.
Yeah. Like, if Digimon ones, I do like My Style from the Girls Festival
we didn't bring up the most important one. We have Koshiro's Adventure image song as our theme.
That's right. Version Up is the podcast music.
Yeah, and
that's right.
That's because I really do like that song, and the instrumental for it works really well as
Yeah,
for almost
it
anything.
really does.
I completely forgot that's the theme, and in fact, it's still the version of it that Victor clipped early on.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, the beginning and end are still that the original version we've been using basically since episode 1. It's one of those things where I keep going, what song should I change it to? It's like, I don't know. It's hard to find one that works as an intro and outro.
Yeah, I like the Atmon ones too, actually, if we're gonna be a little more current. I do like Haru and
I
Gatchmons. I do
forgot those
like
got them, to be honest.
I really like Eugen and
They're
Offmons.
nice. I just
I
forgot
still
they
haven't
were there.
listened to those.
I haven't listened to them in a while, but I used to have like the SoundCloud with them all like bookmarked somewhere, so I can just kind of quick if I'm like really having a droll day at work, I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to these to get upbeat
I
again.
love most of the Frontier ones.
Frontier ones are fun, yeah.
Like
Koichi's
In the
is
Blue
so
and
here's the
Koji and
honest thing.
Koichi's are
The
those
honest
are
thing is, Digimon had great image songs. Basically, as much as we can joke about the Armadamon one, Digimon had great image songs all around, basically. Like
Rio's and Tamers was actually really good too. Digital Survivor, that was a jam.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one at all.
Oh, it's good.
Anytime I think of it,
It's a
I just
fucking
pick.
bop.
So anytime I think of it, I just think of Justimon, and then like old Sentai music just pops in my head.
But also
Anytime,
Black Intruder is really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Digimon has so many image
Oh,
songs that
Marine Angemons, of course, Ocean Smile. Yeah, everyone has like that one should be the first one everyone listens to is Marine Angemon's
no, the
song.
first one should be Armadamon.
Yep, it's just Poppy Poo for the whole song. It's great.
Okay, before we talk about image songs for the next hour, which we actually could do.
We could do.
Next up,
But I want food.
someone wants to know any thoughts on the prices for new in theaters movies digitally. Wording on this is a bit odd, but I think they mean like first run movies if you buy or
I don't
rent
know.
them.
I haven't bought any, so
I mean,
Me either. I didn't even look.
the most expensive have been $30 to buy or for an extended multi-month long rental.
I think the only like new movie I've actually watched is Luca. So
yeah, I did the Black Widow one last week.
Oh, okay.
Watched it with friends and yeah. See, here's the thing: it's only expensive if you're the only one watching it.
Yeah.
Like theaters out here are $15 to go see a new movie, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, I have a popcorn machine. I can do that, and yeah, it was fine. It was fine. If you're watching a movie alone, then it might be a bit different based on the movie. I did it with Bill and Ted last year, and that was 20, I think, to just own it in 4K when it came out. That's fine. And yeah, in our chat, someone just pointed out it's basically like old pay-per-view events.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not super. I can see why you'd be bothered, especially if you're watching alone, though. Yeah. $30 for a movie isn't bad if you're gonna watch, especially since you don't have to deal with people.
God, I think the last movie I actually paid money to watch was Famish. Wow.
Mine was Sonic the Hedgehog, and I regret nothing.
Well,
yeah, that's a good choice.
Well, I think you guys just did different because Famish, I think, was only digitally at that point, right?
Yeah. It was,
okay,
yes.
I think Dev was talking about like in theaters.
No, I know.
Yeah. The last movie I saw in theaters, it was either the second My Hero Academia film or Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't remember which. Sonic was the better movie, though. That movie's far better than it had any right to be.
I love movies like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the My Hero Academia one wasn't near me. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't
I
convenient.
wouldn't worry about it, to be honest. I like how
sometimes seeing anime in on like a large screen. So
I don't know. See, it's weird because I remember having to like travel to do that shit. Like, it was always like the weirdest, strangest fucking theaters that involve 45 minutes or an hour. Like, I remember this one. I don't know where it is, but it's like you go there and it's like, okay, you park and then you start going down escalators and you realize they built the theater into like an old parking garage or something.
When I went to go see the first Fate Stay Night Presage Flower movie, that was that was not a nice place to have a movie theater. That was like definitely someone's gonna get shot.
Oh, see, I'm talking about like circa 2003. Like I'm talking about like when you couldn't find anime in theaters at all. So it was always traveling to like these weird ass fucking places. When did that stop? Because I don't know.
It's still that way around here. It's just like
Okay.
you look up the times for like and locations for like a theater release for certain things. Like, where the fuck is that?
Yeah. But like even yeah, it's weird. I haven't had to do that in so long, so it feels weird to like remember.
Makes me relieved that my main theater was the one that was showing Try.
Oh no, like Try, the furthest I had to go to Try was like a nice theater a town away.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-story nice theater built into a mall, and it was like a high-end AMC.
The first one I had to go to the west side of Madison, but
Oh,
that's as far as it was. No,
yeah.
that theater's fine too.
The first one was closer, and it was yeah. But yeah, it's weird. Like most of them play across the street from my house at this point. So yeah. It's one of those where I keep going, ooh, should I go see the re-theater of the Lupin CGI film? It's
Why
like
the hell not?
I don't know, I have it digitally, I have it on Blu-ray. I'd feel kind of sad watching it subtitled because my nitpicks won't fix it. But yeah, then let's see. Okay, someone wants to know, with older figures getting re-releases or updated versions, do you think that will continue? Generically, yes. This is one of those where I
Yeah.
wish we had more information, but it was like a throwaway email. Because like the Digimon are updated and new. They've been
Mm-hmm.
redoing the SH Figuarts molds with new paint jobs and stuff. The gems have been getting re-released, so I don't know what this is actually referring to. Just
I
generically, I guess.
just say yes and move on
Yeah.
because
Yay,
old. I mean,
figures.
it's
And then
Woohoo!
last chance for those in the chat who want to throw in questions, by the way. Someone asked, do you think the classic booster could have used the old art like it is, but not looked so vanilla? And you know, it's weird. We were all excited they were going to do that, but like thinking about the question, I'm not sure they're like, would you
yeah.
just paste it? Like,
Answer to this is no. I don't think there's a way to make it look not so vanilla.
I
I'm
mean,
just not a. They just don't appeal to me at all because the new art. I think they learned this with Battle Spirits. Is like this new vibrant art is
yeah.
just way more
So
compelling than the
here's my,
old
yeah.
also
default
the
Here's
only
image
good
art.
looking ones were the parallel cards.
so
So
here's my thought on it. The answer, like AR said, is no, but there could have been at least more effort on the binary background to the point that I don't even check to see if they're different anymore because they haven't been. Like, look, if I pull up the Holy Angemon card and then pull up the Metal Garurumon, which is the first we saw, other than the color, is there going to be any difference? And I'm looking and I'm like, no, it's just the same one, and they just change the color settings. Like, at least
There you go.
yeah. If they at least like turn it by a few degrees.
I'm
Do
not even
something.
convinced. I'm not even convinced an updated background
Well,
would
the problem.
salvage these.
No, it's weird because like I was excited to see it like this, but it's like, oh, these basically are meant to be like not bland, but basic profile art with nothing else. And that's
It's
even what
like,
the old card game was. It just had generic
yeah,
backgrounds. So
yeah. But I think we can. I think the card game has proven that it can do way more better than generic art
yeah,
for
and
all of these
and these are
Digimon.
gonna sell like insanely. We all know that, right?
God, we have no taste.
I think the best part is they have not shown us an Omegamon card yet, and we all fucking know it's coming. Like I don't think there's even been a hint of an Omegamon card.
there's
Like
always going to be
Oh, there's
an Omegamon card.
like it's
there's
not
always general rule of Digimon. There is always going to be an Omegamon around the corner.
but like they show all the Agumon stuff on the poster. We got the nice clean version of that. It's like, oh, it's Agumon, Greymon, Metal Greymon, and War Greymon. And then we have the previews at the bottom. They're hiding Omegamon like we're not fucking expecting it. Now, it may
It's
not
coming.
it may not be a $2,500 card this time, but it's gonna fucking be there. I have no fucking doubt. I can't like if you were to ask me name one Digimon who's gonna show up in the set we don't know if Omegamon would be the first one.
That would be my answer to every question like that.
The only curveball I may expect in these is to throw in Alphamon and do a red frame card or something.
You know, that would actually be kind of neat looking.
Especially since they already did that with Omegamon X. They can't use him for it because they did it. There's only been two classic.
Do it again, but just add even more foil.
There's only been two classic style cards before this series, and it's literally Metal Greymon and Omegamon X. So I can safely say that at least in the case of the Metal Greymon, it's a different Metal Greymon this time. Omegamon X won't be used because they already did him. Yeah. So I think that's about it for this week. AR, have you done anything interesting lately beyond be lazy on vacation?
Not lately, but I did have a very weird question on Tumblr that I'm going to have to take some time with. So that may happen this week. It might not happen this week, but I have something on the horizon apparently. Digimon.firstagent.net is my website. First Agent ARP on Twitter.
Writing anything soon that people can look forward to?
The people can look forward to? No. My agenda is occupied. My agenda's occupied elsewhere in the coming weeks, so I've got some non-Digimon stuff to focus on elsewhere.
As is mine.
Yeah.
Dev, AR spoke for you last week for Wikimon. Where would you like people to go on Wikimon this week?
Don't say Babamon.
That was the music page.
Oh, yeah.
Because that redirects to Digimon discography, and you can see like all the fucking CDs.
Those first few years were fucking crazy.
You can take in all of the best partner albums from 02.
Yeah.
There's some jams in there.
Yes, there are. And I can be found on WtW as always. And I don't think we have anything interesting scheduled on WtW for the next week or so.
Well, we'll see what weird news gets thrown at us.
We're about just under 3 weeks from DigiFest, so we'll see what pops up. I feel like you can tell a lot of people are waiting for that day for something they haven't promised.
Life-size Meikumon plushie re-release?
No.
Oh, I'd say there's two things that haven't been promised. In fact, one of them we've been told absolutely not recently. Like Kanaka specifically has said at this point, it's basically realistically past the time where more tamers would happen.
Was that the second thing? Oh, Jesus.
That's the second thing. Because people are still like,
poor people.
Yeah, and then the first thing.
Come on. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I would even say if you were to ask me to guess, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Survive shows up. It feels like if it doesn't show up there, then there's problems deeper than we were aware of.
They will rush the stage.
No, because here's the thing. Like we said, there was no reason for it to be at E3. We never expected an added Diginavi. If they have anything to show, I would say this is where we would expect to see it. Don't you think so?
You'd hope so, yeah.
Yeah. So if we don't see it here, either they have big plans or they don't have shit. Pick your choice. Either way, they aren't listening to anyone on Twitter. So yeah, so we'll see. Do we have anything else to say?
I hope not.
I want a life-size Kulumon plush.
I want a double life-size Kulumon plush. Like twice as big.
See, here's the problem.
Was.
Anytime
I want them to do more like the I Love Terriermon and I Love Tailmon style.
See, here's the problem.
Really soft.
Anytime someone says life-size Kulumon, my brain just goes like ignoring that. Yes, I'm sure it existed 20 years ago. It's like anytime you say life-size Kulumon, my brain just goes that has to have existed in the past year. It's like, I guess it doesn't.
That's not that big.
Most of them were only about like 6-inch tall plushies, unfortunately.
See, it's all of your fault that doesn't exist because you didn't buy enough of the life-size Lopmon. Although people had to have bought that one because that's been re-released. The Terriermon's been re-released like 3 times, and I think the Lopmon's on its second go. Although it's kind of hard to tell with Terriermon because they do so many large Terriermon plushies. Like there's the cushion, there's the life-size one. Galahart wants a life-size Mugendramon.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
No, okay.
Is it functional?
Here's the deal. It's not. Here's the deal of what you can get. What I want from Mugendramon plush. Ignoring life-size jokes, make it as big as the cushion, and have it be the exact design of the Digimon figure, but just in plush
I would
form.
love that.
Oh yes.
Unironically, I want that immediately.
I would pay. Geez, that'd be like $70 or $80, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably, but that's not
worth it.
So
yeah.
we
Well, it's totally worth it.
we demand the Digimon Mugendramon, and let's end there while we're all laughing at the stupid idea of that as a plush. We will catch you guys all next time. Thank you for showing up. Bye.
Bye.